Hey guys, I am about to bring on Aaron from Arkon Mounts, and he is going to be teaching you a lot about Instagram. So I just want to remind you, first off, take a deep breath. Okay, so if you're in stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, you may not be ready for this yet. But those of you that have been in there and you've been learning for a while and you are ready to take your Instagram to the next level, you are going to love this next training. It is intense. There's a lot of great information that I am actually using on my Instagram right now to help it grow. So again, I want you to, if you are serious about growing your Instagram, this is a great training that's going to help you. But for those of you that are brand new and you're like, I'm just trying to figure out a Facebook Live, I want you to relax. I want you to know, remember, Paint Party Headquarters is like a library. You come and get what you need when you need it, and you may not need this yet, and that's okay. But I want to have things out there so when you're ready, it's ready for you, okay? So there is a lot of information. Those of you that are going to watch this and start putting things into play immediately, I took tons of notes and I have broken some of the stuff down for you in this description. I want you to watch this 3 times, okay? Take notes, start putting the few things you can immediately put into action right away, but know that it takes time. Again, just like a Facebook strategy, just like a TikTok strategy, just like any strategy, it takes time. But if you listen and you pull out the things you can do right now instead of going, it's too much, it's too overwhelming, I can't do it all. Instead of doing that, but just pulling out the things that you can do, you are going to love this training and you're going to see huge changes in your Instagram. So I'm excited to welcome Aaron, and let's get started. Hey, Paint Party Headquarters, Heidi here, and I am excited to share this guest with you. So Aaron, welcome. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hey Heidi, how you doing? I'm Aaron from Arkon Mounts. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing and one of the owners of Arkon Mounts. We make those great stands for you to be able to film as you're doing the paint party tutorials and the teaching how to do the paint parties. Anybody who's an artist or a painter or a crafter, they love using their Arkon mounts because they can film in the overhead view position. But just having the mount isn't really enough these days. You have to figure out, how am I going to be able to promote my business or my brand? And so Heidi, today we're going to be talking about a little bit about Instagram, something that I really love, right?
Yes. So I'm excited because I feel like I know Facebook inside and out, and I love Facebook. And we've been building my Instagram, but we've kind of been building it wrong. So what I wanted to share, the reason why I wanted to bring Aaron on is because he taught me so much in just such a short amount of time. And so I know some of y'all that are beginning at stage 1, you're probably like, oh my gosh, this is too overwhelming. But for those of you that are at stage 3, 4, and 5 in Paint Party Headquarters, I want you to really listen in to start building this up. And then also those of you that are at the beginning, just know this is a training you can come back to later. So Aaron's going to share kind of like 3 main strategies we can use right now for our Instagram and starting to build that following, so that again, as you are doing more online paint parties, selling your art kits, in-person parties, you're going to have more traction with that. So go ahead, Aaron, let's get right to it. You want to share the first thing, and we can share our phones if we need to.
Yes, I'll be holding up my phone during this, but we should be able to give you guys a great sense of what to do on Instagram, especially whether you're a beginner. Heidi, you mentioned different levels of paint party levels, but this for Instagram is really, we believe it's the best tool for any business that has a product, really. Services is a little harder. But anybody who has a product, or if they're doing tutorials, Instagram is really the place to be. You love Facebook. I love Instagram, and here's why. On Instagram, you can really connect with the various communities that are out there. So for you, it's paint party community, but there's also a lot of other artists. Let me give you a few examples that people can look at their pages. There's 2 watercolor artists that I want them to look at, which are Jolie, P-O-A, J-O-L-Y, P-O-A. She has 300,000 followers here on Instagram. She's getting a lot of views, obviously, on her as a watercolor artist. Another one we had as a guest is Jovi Merrill, Jovymerryl. She's from Singapore. Same thing. She's in the watercolor community. So she's painting, and basically she's posting her painting on Instagram, and she has 150,000 followers. That's very strong, obviously. A lot of us didn't even know that you could have that many followers, or how do you get to that many followers? So Heidi, let's talk a little bit about how they can do that. Number one, there are a lot of people when they start using Instagram, they get into a bad habit of trying to play a game of follow for follow. They want to follow back somebody, and then they want and hope that they're following them back as well. But there's a lot of bots on Instagram. 8% of the accounts on Instagram are actually robots that intentionally go to your account and follow you, and then they unfollow you a week later. So I want you to take into consideration what I'm going to teach you today, and I'm going to give you some really easy strategies. And the first thing that we look at, Heidi, is the 3 numbers you have up here. These are very important numbers. You want to see your posts. Heidi has, that's great, Heidi. Put that one back up there again, if you would. You have 1,158 posts. You have 4,344 followers. And then you've taken down the number on the right, actually, to 496. This is very important because a lot of us start getting out of control on the right-hand side here, and we start following anybody and everybody. You can follow 7,500 accounts on Instagram, but I don't recommend it. All of the best accounts, they follow a very limited select number of people. And so one of the first things that we can tell you is let's work on these 3 numbers. This is going to be the key to our strategy is making sure that we have these 3 numbers aligned for the Instagram algorithm. And what does that mean? It means that they look a certain way so that the Instagram algorithm takes your content and your page and it shares it out there with as many people as possible. This is very important. This is what we want the app to be working on our behalf to share it with more people. And it can, as we just showed you with those 2 watercolorists who have 150,000 or 300,000 followers. They've just been posting stuff on Instagram, but they've been posting it correctly. First thing we want to look at that most people get trapped with, Heidi, is the amount of people they're following. How many people were you following before we chatted last week and you unfollowed a lot of people?
Oh my gosh. So I didn't know. I was one of those people, like if somebody started following me, I just followed them and it like right away when I started my account. But number one, I want y'all, we already have a training that shows how to start a business Instagram. So one of the things that Aaron pointed out, he's like, why are you following this person? I was like, well, that's my cousin. And he's like, you don't need to be following your cousin on Instagram. And I'm like, oh, because this is my business account. So I went through, and as hard as it was, I was trying to unfollow a lot of friends and family. And so make sure, I think we had around 15 to 1,600 people I was following. And every day I've been going in and just unfollowing and taking people off my list to get under 500.
Perfect. And when you're doing that, Heidi, you got to make sure Instagram starts thinking that you're a bot when you start doing anything that resembles bot activity. And one of those is unfollowing a lot of accounts at a time, right? So if you're doing this very strategically, you want to do about 100 a day. If you start doing 200 a day, 300 a day, it varies depending on the size of your account, but they actually can give you a penalty. And the penalty, we call it a slap on the wrist, is your account will be paused to where if you go and you actually try to look at the people you're following here, it will say, sorry, it can't do it at this time. That means you've been a little bit more overly ambitious. And what happens, Heidi, is the first thing that we look at, and I want you all who are watching this tutorial, I want you to look at your 3 numbers. If you have more people that you're following over here on the right-hand side than the amount of people that are following your page, you have a serious problem. In fact, anybody who tunes into my lives, Heidi, I tell them specifically, unfollow any account that has an imbalance of more than 100 people. If they're following more than 100 people, then the amount of people that follow them, they got to unfollow them, and they do this. And so it doesn't look good, and it's going to prevent you actually from getting more followers. So you also want to see whether or not, Heidi, when you were looking for yours, did you find any that hadn't posted in 2 or more months? Maybe they hadn't posted at all in 2020, right?
Yeah, I don't even know. I think it was years ago I started following them. I don't even remember following them. Yeah. So there were things where, so step 1, guys, is just go to your following and the people you're following, and all you're going to do is click on that number, and then you're just going to scroll down. And what I did was I kind of basically went to anybody I didn't even recognize right off the bat and just hit unfollow real quick. That was like the easiest way. And honestly, Aaron, I've been doing this for over 2 weeks now, unfollowing people every
Yes.
day to get my number
Yes.
down.
You know, I did the same thing, and it's kind of a leap of faith for everybody. They're saying, why do I need to do this? And again, it's because this is going to help align your page with the algorithm. Right now, think of it as a video game. Think of the game, and we are the players. And if you play the game and you're doing the follow for follow game, your score goes down. It suppresses your page. But if you actually do it correct, it's going to have a higher score, and you're going to get to the next level in the game. This is kind of how we think about it. And yes, Heidi, you're going to have to do multiple passes through your people you're following. Essentially, you need to go through every single one 100% of the time to find out what it is. Those three numbers at the top, Heidi, I've mentioned to you before and today, we do want both the number on the left and the number on the right to be under 500. You are in control of those two numbers. But I also say that you're in control of the number in the middle, your number of followers. Your followers are going to go up when you actually align your page properly. And Heidi, you have too many posts.
Yeah.
You have actually 1,158 posts. You want to take that down to almost a similar number as this now. You've gotten your followers down, the ones that you're following, down to under 500. You want to get your posts under 500 as well. And essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to create if you plotted them out on a chart, on a graph, you would have the number in the middle would be the number of followers. That would be the highest number. It would be up here. And then you're going to have your posts, and you're going to have your people you're following over here. It's going to look like a triangle or a pyramid. We want that to look like that. If you've done this, then your account, as I like to say, is positioned for greatness. Now, if you look at our page, we have 330 posts, right? That's a nice low number, under 500. We have 583 people we're following. And almost 95% of those have more than 75,000 followers. They're strong accounts that obviously are in my Arkon Mounts community. They're made up of nail artists, painters, crafters, bakers, cookiers, cakers, but they're very, very, very strong accounts. That looks good to the algorithm that you're following people in your own community that are very strong. So we do want to create that pyramid. That's going to be very, very important. This is really our major first theme of the day, Heidi, and this tutorial is get your account aligned, and you are in control of actually all three of these numbers, because if you go and you archive, you don't want to delete posts, but you can archive. And the way that you do that, if you have 3,000 posts out there and they're all photos, you probably have a low number of people following you, but you just go up here, you go to the three dots, and you say you want to archive it. I don't want to delete it. It gives you the delete option, but you do want to archive older posts. And I would suggest not having any posts from 2019, 18, 17, 16. They're not giving you any more value at all. So you really want to archive posts to get that number down under 500, and the number on the right should also be under 500. If you do this, some great things are going to happen to your account. Now, Heidi, number two thing.
100. How many can we archive a day? Because my team's been working and helping me
Yes.
archive. So
Yes.
how many a day around do you recommend? Because I know a lot of other people are probably like me, where we were just posting like crazy.
Yeah, and we just touched on it a little bit on that right-hand side of the equation, the people that we're following. If you guys try to unfollow too many people in a day, Instagram will pause you. It will give you a temporary slap on the wrist, basically, and then it will release your account in about 2 hours sometimes, 1 day sometimes, or 2 days sometimes. The same thing can happen on posts. If you started archiving too much at once, it was just too fast a behavior. I would do, 50 at a time, 100 at a time, and then come back to it a few hours later. It varies when you're going to get paused by Instagram. It's sort of like you've heard of Facebook jail, where if you do something wrong on Facebook, you get a temporary hold on your account. It's no different than that. So there's an Instagram jail as well. We call it getting paused, and it's nothing really major. We actually say that it's a badge of honor, not a badge of shame, to be locked up. It means you're actually trying to take control of your account and get it aligned quicker rather than having to wait a long time, especially if you're following way too many people. So Heidi, the first thing that I want people to do is to really make sure that their numbers look right, and especially that they're not following more people than the amount of people that follow them. That's the really number one tip, is don't have that imbalance. You have to decide who you're going to unfollow, and the best criteria is unfollow any account who has an imbalance of 100 or more followers. They're following more than 100 people than the amount of people that follow them. The other thing is if they have not posted in 2 or more months, basically they're inactive. Why are you following an account who has not posted in 2 or more months on Instagram? That's our other tip regarding that. Heidi, there is something that's very important. Now, once you've aligned your page up here in the sense of making sure you're not really getting into the bad habits of following the wrong people and posting too much, there is such a thing. You only want to really post 2 times a day maximum. 1 or 2 times a day. It has to be 1 though. Instagram is very similar to Pinterest, where you have to post on a daily basis if you want to have success. If you post once a week, you're not going to have success. Once every other day, every third day, it's not enough. The best accounts, they post every single day religiously, right, Heidi? At 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 6 p.m., they are serious about it. But Heidi, there is something more important that you got to make sure that you do, and that is posting really good content. Now, when I look at your Texas Art and Soul page, I had showed when you were our guest last week, you post a lot of great lifestyle photos and videos. There's nothing better to connect with your audience than showing yourself doing something. If you just show what you're painting, it's not going to do the same thing, especially your business is teaching paint parties. And so you have these videos and you have photos on your page that really convey the joy of teaching a paint party. I absolutely love this. And they are the most impactful thing that you can do. I think you do it better than anybody else. I had shown, here's one with a black and white photo, but you show the tools that you're working with. You show the environment where you're teaching those paint parties. And I can exactly see kind of the joy and the fun that comes with teaching paint parties. It's great. So really, you got to think about what you do and how to best convey it with photos and videos. So it's very important that you start posting the right type of content. Lifestyle photos and videos are very important. But Heidi, you really want to, if you want to have success on Instagram, it's all about the videos. It's not about the photos. And when I suggest to my community how much of the content should be a video or a photo, there's a few different tools on Instagram. Let's touch on those. You can post a photo. You can post a photo carousel, which is a photo series, and you can pick up to 3, 4, 5, 6 different photos. That's called a photo carousel. There are different types of videos. There are the 1 minute or less Instagram videos. And the best videos for those are time-lapse videos where you speed them up and you're actually showing something, showing your hands in the video. The videos are very important to be in time-lapse if you want to get the most amount of views on your brand and your page. The other type of video content is called IGTV. Now, to get IGTV, you do have to download an app. You should download this app. The product manager for IGTV is saying that Instagram is using a lot of resources to try to promote that app. And it is made by them. It's called IGTV. Download that so that you can post a different type of format, Heidi. For IGTV, instead of the 1 minute or less videos, you have a time range of 1 minute to 15 minutes for an IGTV video, unless it's a live. If you're doing an Instagram live, the time limit is 1 hour. And at the end of your Instagram live now, it does allow you to save to IGTV. It looks like the same icon as IGTV. So it's a little bit longer than the 1 to 15 minute time limit that you have on an IGTV video. But you don't want to go up to 15 minutes, and 10 minutes is too long. People have very short attention spans, and the videos that do the best are about 1 to 3 minutes in length for the IGTV video. So we have 1 minute or less. 1 to 3 minutes would be your IGTV videos. But Heidi, on August 5th, last month, Instagram came out with a new tool. It's called Instagram Reels. Now, I mention this because it's very, very important to start using Reels. And Reels is their answer to TikTok. TikTok is this great platform that has 1 billion or more users now. Short format videos, 15 seconds or less. So you have your 1 minute or less, or you have your 1 to 15 minute videos, but now we have Reels videos, and Reels are fun. If you have your account set up with a business account, as of yesterday, you would have been able to attach music if you used a secret hack. You had to tap on the screen and it would allow you to use music. There's copyright issues with businesses who use music. They took that away today. This is a big change, Heidi, today, because they fixed the app. And so now it says only certain accounts can get access to the music library. And the music library is great. It's got like so many different songs in it, and they give the credit to the artists who created them. Like somebody had done a Spider-Man cookie decorating video, and I wanted to have the Spider-Man theme to it, so I attached it to it last week. I wouldn't be able to do that today because they closed the little loophole they had in the app. But Reels is very important. Here's why Reels is so important, Heidi. Heidi, what's your favorite hashtag? I'm guessing paint party is probably your favorite hashtag, right?
Yeah, or DIY crafts.
Okay, let's go look at paint party and see that hashtag. Paint party is there. Now, here's why Reels is so important. Instagram has said, you know what? We're going to give a lot of love to this type of content on our platform. So if we look at the hashtag paint party, let's say you had used it in your post, and let's say you had posted a Reels video. It's in the #1 spot for top. They're no longer putting the photos and the photo carousels or the IGTV videos there. They're really giving the premier placement to Reels. And that's almost with every big high value hashtag community. Is that your paint party video there? No, it's not. It should be, Heidi.
I'm like, where's mine at? We got to find this. We got to fix this.
You can see if yours is in the queue, you can go like this. You can click on the Reels video and you can swipe up and see if any of yours are sort of in the rotation that they're going to do in the sense of putting it in that #1 spot. Here's a lady named Carolyn. Here's a lady named Jazzy. Here's a lady named Victorious. Here's a lady named Texas Art and Soul.
There I am.
You have been using that hashtag in a Reels video, so you are there. You're #5 in the rotation right now.
Yes,
so
#5.
Keep watching it because I think you are going to get rotated in there. I don't know how often they change these out, but you are there. Let's see if it's with more than one. What was that other one? DIY. Let's go look at that one. What was that other one that you liked?
DIY crafts.
DIY crafts.
And I could probably see what my...
And see if there is a reel. #1, see if there's a Reels video. And this is why I say Reels is so important, because if you can get up into the top of the hashtag community, you're going to be seen by a lot of people out there. It has 1 million posts. It's very strong, Heidi. And yes, look at this. There is a Reels video in that #1 spot. This is very powerful. This tells us, you know what, we all are trying for this #1 spot. We don't want to be way down here on the list, right? We want to be here. And they are putting an emphasis by saying every Reels video is going to go in that spot. Let's see if we go grab it. A lady named Cherry, Shades of Pastels, DIY, Artsy World. So there's a lot of people competing for these big hashtags. Here's what was great about the last month, Heidi, and there's still plenty of time to get in on this if they start doing it immediately. There's other hashtags than just these two, obviously. These two are very big hashtag communities. But you could use some of the smaller hashtag communities. And maybe it's art in Texas or hashtag Texas art, something like that, right? And you'd be able to hopefully have your Reels out there before the other creators have posted. And most of the people in my community, Heidi, right now, they're all getting to the top of these leaderboards, these hashtag leaderboards. So I encourage everybody to really use Reels right now and use it more than their other type of content. So Heidi, let's recap. We want to make sure that we get our page aligned for the algorithm. The way we're going to do that is we're going to make sure that we have our posts under 500. We're following less than 500. Look at that. She's got the pyramid right there.
I'm taking notes.
And a high number of followers in the middle. That's our first main theme, right? The second main theme is video is so much more important than photos or photo carousels. But you do want to use all of the different tools that Instagram gives you. You don't want to ignore photos or photo carousels, but let me give you sort of more a perfect future allocation of those tools. If you're posting your next 12 posts, I'd like you guys to kind of think about, it doesn't have to be exact, but you should try to get about 6 of those posts, which would be half of them, 50%, 6 of them are going to be Reels videos, these 15 seconds or less videos, and make them time lapse of you painting, right? That is going to do the best. A time lapse video with lots of good color, good lighting. That's very important for those videos. If it looks dark and murky, they don't do as good. Great lighting works. So you want 6 out of 12 to be Reels videos. You want 2 out of those 12 posts to be IGTV, which would mean hopefully a 1 to 3 minute time-lapse video. You get a little bit longer to show what you're doing in those time-lapse videos. And then you also don't want to forget about the 1 minute or less regular Instagram videos. You'd also want to do 2 of those. We're at 10 now.
Stories.
Stories are different. Stories,
Okay.
Instagram stories you should use, and you can post to Instagram stories as much as possible. I think you can do 100 a day. I'm always reposting the content that people tag me in. So I'm doing about 30 or 40 or 50 times a day to stories. Stories are up here where you click on it and you see that you've posted stuff. And stories are cool because you can use text, you can use animated GIFs. It's a lot of fun, actually. You don't want to use text on your posts that go in your feed. That's very important. You don't want to be using a lot of text. Instead, you want to make sure it's nice and beautiful. The theme of my page is, I say it's all about community and showing all the different communities that use our mounts. But your own respective page, let's go, Heidi, can you show, why don't you pull up the Jolie POA page that has 300,000, and I'll show Jovi Merrill, because these are ones from obviously the painting community. They're watercolors. And if we go to their page, it's beautiful use of photography and color. You see a lot of great color. This is Jovi's page. Did you go to JOLY POA?
JOLY POA.
Yep. And you see just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And I've worked with Jovi as well. She's going to start posting more videos. That is, look at all the videos she posts. She has a good mix of 1 minute or less videos and photos, but it's very beautiful on those pages. And I want you guys to learn a little bit from those 2 pages because they're doing such a great job. They got to be doing something right. But obviously with Reels now coming on the scene last month, things have changed on Instagram. You got to make sure that you know kind of how the algorithm changes. The best way to do this, Heidi, is for them to tune in to me daily. If they have the time, it's 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. your time, Central Time, 12 p.m. Eastern. I go live every single day, 7 days a week. And in fact, if you have a page, I'm serious. And we've been doing this since March. Everybody's on quarantine. They're stay at home, right? And so they're not going out much. And we're really training everybody in my community how to do great on Instagram. And their businesses, Heidi, they're thriving. The cookie decorators, they're doing better than ever before. The cake decorators, they're doing better than ever before. The crafters who are selling things.
Yeah.
Instagram is a very powerful tool. If you do it right, you guys, you're going to get 90% of your business is going to come from Instagram, not Facebook.
Oh, wow. I'll have to bet you money on that one because Facebook is where I make my money.
Can you handle that much extra business, Heidi?
I don't know if I can handle that much extra business. Yeah. So Aaron, what I love so much about what you're saying is because here's the thing. Like I said, we have, so many people in Paint Party headquarters, and we have this way to capture people's attention because we're creating. And so they're watching to see us create. And so that's what I always tell these women. I'm like, you have no idea how many opportunities there are out there for people like us, because we're not just sitting there talking like this, we're actually creating, we're making, and people want to see that. And so, so I love that you're on here because I feel like in Facebook, I'm like, I got it down. I know what to teach them. I know exactly what to tell them. Instagram, I'm still trying to fill it out and figure it out. So I'm so glad you're sharing this because guys, yes, he is the owner of the Arkon mounts, but he knows the power of Instagram, and he knows the potential with, you putting your phone on an Arkon mount and Texas Heidi, coupon code, please. And then you can actually see what is happening so that you can get the Arkon mount, which we talk about all the time. And I use it for my virtual paint parties. I use it for when I'm at an in-person paint party, I'm time-lapsing the setup the cleanup, during the party. I've time-lapsed the entire party, things like that. But what I love about what he's saying is I've kind of just I've just been throwing spaghetti at the wall when it comes to Instagram. And what I love what he's saying is there are strategic things, just like I teach you in Facebook, that you can do on Instagram. It doesn't mean you have to put a ton of energy, a ton of effort, but just start tweaking these little things as you can. So what would you say? So we have, 5 stages in our paint party headquarters. So for the people right now that are glazed over, because I know it's a
Yes.
lot,
And I speak fast.
what would be the one thing that you would tell those beginner people, besides opening a business account on
Yes.
Instagram, which we have a training for? And what would be the one thing you would tell them to do today to help them? And then we'll kind of go to our stage 5. What would you tell those people more
Well,
advanced?
in a very short manner, we gave the best formula. We really told you how to align your content with the algorithm. And so if I said one thing, consistency on Instagram with video is the most impactful thing you can do, is to have high quality videos that you're posting. So if you're really posting the 10 out of 12 next post as videos, Heidi, that is the number one thing. But you're not going anywhere if you don't do it hand in hand with getting your 3 numbers aligned. So it's really the 2 most important thing. You got to work on these 3 numbers, or especially the ones on the left and the right. And you have to have that consistency of posting at least 1 time a day. 2 times is the maximum. I don't want anybody posting more than 2 times a day, because there's too much posting that you can do, and you're actually going to suppress all the previous posts that you do in a day. If you try to do like 6 or 10 of them, it's way too much. So focus on the 2 numbers and have that consistency with video, good video showing what you're doing, especially like yours. Lifestyle videos are the actual showing your hands in the video, painting the art. Those are the best types of videos. If they can do that, they're absolutely going to have success on Instagram. Just this morning, we celebrated a girl, Kirsten from Nora's Macaron. When she first started watching me in April, she was at about 6,000 followers. Today, she reached 20,000 followers. Another girl, Allie, she had 200 followers when she started following us in May, and she got to 5,000 followers today. So they're all using the same formula that I teach, exactly what we just talked about with aligning your content, posting the right types of videos, and their page and their business is really going strong.
Okay, so that's awesome, because I just screenshotted. So everybody, if you will screenshot where your Instagram is right now.
Good
So
advice.
I went ahead and screenshotted where we're at so that I can see the growth. So when I go back to this video later, I can be like, oh my gosh, I remember when I was at 4,347 followers and now I'm at, blah, blah, blah. So make sure you have that, because whatever you focus on grows. So if you're looking to get more paint parties, or you're looking to do something, when you focus on something like that and take massive action, you're going to see growth. So what would you tell the veterans in our group, the people who have been doing this a little while, what would their daily Instagram exercises look like to make their following grow? What would they do?
Well, hopefully they've switched to Reels. All of my Reels videos, let me give you an example. Reels as a video, the 15-second or less format, all of the ones that I'm posting are getting between 10 and 20,000 plays. When I post a 1 minute or less video, I get 500 to 1,000 views. When I post an IGTV video, I get usually it's between 2,000 and 8,000 views. So those are the 3 types of video, but you can see Reels, the emphasis on Reels, and getting between 10 and 20,000 plays. They call them plays. If we equate a play with what they have for the other types of video I mentioned, which are views, I equate them the same. A play is essentially the same as a view. Then I'm getting a lot more. I'm getting 3 times as much eyes on my brand if I'm using this new tool called Reels. So even the expert people that are out there, Heidi, there's people out there that have 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers, and they get stalled out. I'm very fortunate because I have a community that's built up with all different makers and creators. And so I actually personally coach some people who have 400,000 followers, and they've been at 400,000 for the last 2 years. They gain a little bit, they lose a little bit. So I can help somebody at any level. My strongest advice is to join in one of our lives, and in the live say, Aaron, will you look at my page? Will you look at my Instagram page? And especially after you've gone and you've made these changes that we talked about today, Heidi, if they go in my live and they say, Aaron, will you look at my page? that's exactly what I do. I pull it up and I look at it, and I have to give a warning. I started doing this week. I started calling my, there's a rating on my lives that's BH, and the BH stands for brutally honest. And so I'll go to the page and I'll say, the videos aren't looking that great. We got to really do a lot better, right? So make sure that if you do want to learn and you want to grow on Instagram, come to my Arkon Mounts Instagram lives every day, and you're going to learn so quickly. And we're going to look at your page, and you're going to making sure that we'll hold you accountable, and they're going to have great success, Heidi.
Yeah, and for those of y'all that are unsure of even how to get to Reels, so whenever you're scrolling through Instagram, all you have to do is swipe just like you're going to do a story. So when you swipe down here on the bottom, let me make sure you can see that. Down here on the bottom, it says live stories or Reels. So when I pick Reels right here,
yes,
that's where I'm doing my Reels. So for those of you that are like, oh, I don't even know what that means. Well, it just started, you know, so it's all brand new. And the reason why I wanted to get Aaron on is because a lot of times when something brand new like this happens, especially with the success that TikTok has had and Instagram's trying to mimic that, we want to get on this bandwagon as fast as possible, because a lot of times a program, an app will reward those early users, and
all the time.
Yeah,
all the time.
They skyrocket your accounts a lot better if you're doing the right thing. But again, you got to make sure you're not following your aunt, your cousin, all those people. It was, and we're creative souls, so it was hurting my heart as I'm unfollowing the family. But we got to remember, it's a business strategy. If you want a personal Instagram, do that. There you can have all your family and friends. But on your business, you got to keep it business.
Yep, have the personal page. Now, Heidi, you were showing how you can do it where you swipe. They actually have 3 different places in the app. You can also, when you're on this screen, you can go to the plus sign, and that will open up that same view that you had, where you can post to your feed. You can say feed, story, story highlights. So that's one way to get to it. The other way to get to it is you go to the little home page down at the bottom, and then you click on the camera. So they're making it easy for you to find that screen where it says Reels. Now you showed it, and when you showed it, some people get confused by this because they think they have to make a live video right then by just holding down the button. That's one way to do it, but I prefer to make a really great time-lapse video in advance. I save it to my camera roll, and so what we do is we just go to our camera roll, which is right there, and we go and grab the Reels video that has been made. Here's one of them right here. And then we post that basically. So you have this video that's been perfected. Do it that way instead of trying to do it on the fly right there with that button where you can record and do it right there. You don't want to do it that way. You want to actually have your perfected video and then post it.
Yes, pull from your camera roll that you've already
Yes.
done. Okay,
Yes.
so basically instead of posting 6 times a day like I was on Instagram,
Yes.
I am just going to be posting 1 reel every day.
Yes.
And 1 other thing every day. And
Perfect.
That's it. And then stories can be unlimited.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
And don't put text in your posts like the ones that are in your feed. Reels is going to ask you, do I share it to my feed? Yes, you want to share it to your feed. If you turn that button off, there's something that says, do you want to share it to the Explore page? And the Explore page is sort of where you can go view all the different videos. And we've seen some people have success with that, but I really think sharing it to your feed is the most important thing. Those are the ones that I'm getting 10 to 20,000 views every time I post one of those.
Okay, and then before we let you go, the last thing I want to ask, what would you recommend on how many hashtags and what hashtags should they be picking?
Perfect. This is a good question, Heidi. There's use of hashtag. If you are posting a photo, this is very important, for photo carousel, for 1 minute or less videos, or for the IGTV, those types of content. So everything excluding Reels. The best thing that we've seen is to post those hashtags in a comment, the very first comment, and about 15 of them. You can do 30, but 30 is too much. The sweet spot is about 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You want to have some very relevant hashtags. Paint party, painters, hashtag artists of Instagram, some very good high value hashtags, as well as some lower value hashtags, because maybe you can be seen a little bit easier, especially with Reels. You can be seen in a smaller hashtag community. But with Reels, Heidi, we're seeing that if you put the hashtags not in the comments, but instead in the description. And so you've typed maybe a paragraph or two about what you're doing, and you use some of the keywords that you use for your own business. So if I was typing something about a post I had made for Reels, I'd say, oh, here's our latest paint party. We got together and we painted. These are keywords: painted, art. I'd be using these words in my description for a few paragraphs. Then I would give it a few line breaks, and then I would do my 15 hashtags right there in the description. If you guys do this, you're going to see that you get a lot more views on each post.
Awesome. That is so cool. And I can go back and edit my Reels. Like if the description isn't as good as I wanted it, I can go back and edit that. Is that okay?
No.
No.
Don't change anything. There's a rule on Instagram. Here's what happens. You've just posted something out there, and Instagram gets all the information and it looks at it and it goes, okay, we're going to start sharing it out. But then you go in there 2 minutes later, you say, oh, I made a typo, and you go to change it. You totally confuse the algorithm. It sends something out. It's sort of like the reset button, and it says, here's what it does. It says, I'm confused. You just changed something. We're not going to even look at it anymore. So all of a sudden, any momentum you had on your post is completely eliminated, because it's gonna freeze that post. It doesn't really know what the change is. It probably does know what the change is, but it penalizes you for trying to make a change. If you made a little typo, wait a week before you go and edit it. That's my advice on any of the posts that you have. If you want to change something, don't do it unless you do it a week later after it's had its time to get some traction out there.
Okay, so I'm not going to touch anything.
Don't mess with it.
Leave it at that. Moving forward, we will do our paragraphs and our hashtags in the right way.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we have talked about a lot here. And so for those of you, again, you're maybe stage 1, stage 2, even stage 3, and this is overwhelming you. Just know, again, Paint Party Headquarters is like a library. You can come in and get what you need when you need it. So you may not be ready for this stage just yet. For those of you that have been already playing around with Instagram and you're getting excited, this is definitely the video you want to watch, rewatch, and probably watch a third time, and take lots of notes, and then start getting all of those pieces into action. And then, guys, you know, Aaron is studying this stuff like crazy. He is loving Instagram. He's learning all about the algorithms. And for those of you that don't know, this is where I buy all of my Arkon mounts. I love them. And this is where I have, if you've seen in my studio, the pictures of me we did our over 4,500 people on a virtual paint party recently. And so I had Arkon mounts filming me at every direction, and iPads and stuff all over the place. So I want you to use my coupon code Texas Heidi. It's a 20% off discount for you. It doesn't cost you anything extra. He has the best Arkon mounts ever. Oh, it's upside down. There you go.
And you know, Heidi, we're actually sold. We sold out yesterday. We're going to be out of stock this entire month until September 30th. We're donating 5 of these mounts for you for your big event at Dollywood.
Yeah.
I do hope my team got them out to you. I told them to put them aside and quarantine them, but we did sell out. So they can pre-order at our website right now. They can go there and they can order. This one's called the Remarkable Creators Bundle. It is the one that we would suggest that you start with. This is the best one. It's probably the last mount you ever need. It's model number RCB TAB LED. And use the coupon code Texas Heidi and you save 20% off. It's normally $140, but that saves you $28. So that's a great savings on it. You should pre-book your order so that you can get it when the next shipment of them comes in on September 30th.
Okay, and tell us that code one more time. RCB
TAB LED.
Okay.
It stands for Remarkable Creators Bundle. The tab part of it means it includes a tablet holder, which is great, and then it also has the phone holder and camera holder. But then the LED in the model number means it also comes with a little LED ring light, which can light up your artwork and take away some shadows. It's a great little tool as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I've told you this story, but before I had your Arkon mounts, I used a vase, my daughter's old selfie stick, and a toilet paper holder.
Nice.
And the toilet paper would like secure it. So I always tell the ladies, I'm like, when you have the money, you need to buy one of these as soon as possible because it's just so much easier.
Nice.
Okay, well, we appreciate you being on here and sharing so much information to these women. Any last thoughts before we go?
Well, they're going to do great if they follow my formula. You mentioned that I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I spend 10 hours a day. I'm ashamed to say it, and I still run my business, but Instagram is so powerful to my business. 90% or more of our B2C business, our consumer business, does come from Instagram, and the things that I do there, it can do the same thing for you guys. I teach at many different events, but the events haven't been going on this year, but I teach at Creativation and a lot of the different cake shows and cake competitions, and I teach how to use video to promote your brand. So it's something like you said, I do study it. My formula for success on Instagram does work for whoever's going to employ it, basically is going to have some success. So I really strongly recommend that they watch this maybe even a few times, because we went fast. There was a lot of great information, but it is exactly the essentials that you need to have success. And I wish them all success. If they have any struggle, have them come over to my Arkon Mounts Lives in the morning, and I'll help you out for sure.
That sounds great. I know. I'm hoping we can get you at our Dollywood event next year. That'd be so fun.
Next year sounds good. I like Dollywood. I went out there last year. I'd probably love to come out there again.
Yeah, we're excited. We have just a few more weeks till our big event, and so we're excited. And thank you so much for donating those Arkon mounts.
Oh, you're welcome, Heidi. Thank you.
All right, guys, y'all follow these Instagram steps to have more followers, to have more people see your stuff. Again, you can be the best painter, the best paint party host in the world, but if nobody knows you're out there, it's hard to make money at it. So we want to help you make money doing this. So I hope this helped y'all, and let us know in the comments what your biggest takeaway is. And also let us know in the comments the one thing you're putting into action right now. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.